I feel like it's only right that I say this at this particular time in somebody's life. After a while, you won't be able to get to control the situation and the aspects that are going on in your life. It is written, for I know the plans that I have for your life. Jeremiah 29:11. Okay? When God want to use you, when God has deemed you as being one of the chosen ones, it's kind of hard to run away from him. Okay? Let me tell you something. For those that don't know who Miracle Hunter Shakita is and her story, I was living in a time in my life before I started literally walking with God, okay? I was living in a time of my life where I felt like because of childhood traumas, that in order for me and my family to have, I had to be on it. It was so crazy because I had a significant other, right? And I remember vividly towards the beginning of, there being friction, because he was like, listen, I'm here. You don't have to go so hard, I'm here. But I was in the mind frame of, and then it got to where we both was, like, and the mentality was, from my point of view, okay, I don't know about his, but from mine, it was, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, if I'm not this, if I'm not that, if I don't, we're not gonna have this, we're not gonna have that. I literally was, and let me be very clear. I worship God. I knew God. I love God. But I didn't have him as the head. We didn't have him as the head, right? So, without really thinking, we were living a vagabond life, meaning we were living a life of wonders, which means that we were walking around here, real life, being our own gods, without even subconsciously knowing it. Okay, like, that's just what it was. Like, we were overworking ourselves. I was overworking myself, we were both overworking ourselves because we were trying to do the things in our lives that only God could do, and could do easily and effectively. And so literally, my testimony on my end came from, I want to do some things in her life, but if she keeps on with that mentality, I'm not going to be able to do it, because she don't got me in the right seat of her life, right? I want to do, and I'm getting ready. Not I want to, and I might. God was like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. And I gotta say this. Until it literally is deep off up in somebody's spirit right now. I gotta say this until it's deep off up into somebody's soul right now. I am getting ready to do a series of things in this person's life. But in order to be able to do it, I gotta be seated in the right seat of this person's life. So let me tell you, every single thing that I thought I had control over, I messed around and lost temporarily. Every single thing. every single thing that I was out here busting my butt over, thinking I had full control over, I end up losing temporarily because God literally wanted that seat inside of my life that I was occupying, that he needed for him to do only what he could do in it. So, in the midst of losing everything, including my freedom, I had to surrender. Nobody likes that S word, but it's so necessary, especially if you want to get from where you are right now to where you know in your heart you supposed to be at, but you can't seem to get there. Like because God is so God, he will embed that desire for your life that he have for you inside of you, and then have you scratching your head because you can't seem to get to the vision that you see in your life. And the reason being is because you ain't using the key, aka God. So watch. I got to a point in my life where God was like, yep, now what you gonna do? I done moved all that out the way. Now what you control? What you got? What you gonna do now? Huh? What you gonna do now? Huh? I had no choice but to surrender. And here's the thing. He didn't make me. Even in that point of losing everything, I still had about this much of fight in me, right? And as the patient God that he is, he sat there and was like, okay, you a tough one. The average would have gave for a long time. You still got a little fight. Okay, I love that though, cause I'm gonna use that on the other side of where I'm taking you. I like that. I like that a lot. And when it was all said and done, right, I threw my hands up like, God, I give up. You got it. You got it. You brought me here. You gonna get me out of here. You brought me to this point in my life. It's gonna be only you that'll bring me out of it. And as soon as I gave up, y'all, and I gave it to God and I surrendered and I gave up that seat that I was occupying in my life, I want you to know, less than 24 hours, God freed me, okay? And then everything that God wanted to do in my life, he began to do. Now, I want to warn you, all of the things that he was doing, it didn't happen overnight. But because my heart posture was right and God was now seated where he was supposed to have been seated at, even in the wait, even in the waiting room, everything was all right. My problems, my issues in my life, the uncomfortabilities that were going on in my life, how I dealt with situations were totally different. Like, I need you to understand, you will give up that seat and let God have it. Especially when you literally realize there's no way you're going to be able to get to what your heart truly desires, because he put that desire in it. I love y'all, and as always, goodbye.